The Human on Alien Pirate Ship by Mr. Sharks 202, posted on Reddit. Narration approved by Mr. Sharks 202. The Human on Alien Pirate Ship. Will I be as big as you? Was Jack's only memory of home, of Earth. Someone, he couldn't remember who, but someone reached down and grabbed him on his shoulders. You'll be as big as you want to be. The man reached into his pocket and pulled out a little pocket knife, hardly bigger than his own fingers, and wrapped it in a shiny wooden exterior, as big as your mind desires. He put the knife in Jack's hand, forcing his small fingers to wrap around its cold surface. But only if you make it so. Jack was too young to understand, but he was smart. He thought he had the man caught. Will I be as big as the universe? He smiled and spoke simply and surely, like a warm growl of crackling fire. The universe is big. It is vast beyond comprehension, expansive to its core, and deeper than any measurement. Yet in all of its infinite void, all of its oblivion, it pales in comparison to the universe of one's thoughts. After all, you are the universe experience in itself. Somehow, Jax understood that one. He smoked cigarettes in one of the strange closets. It was easy to get away with. The crew members never dared enter a place they might have to do honest work. No one kept up with him. He was nothing more than a pest, a little bug that the captain thought would make a fun pet to eventually squash. No smoking. The little janitor drone beeped in automatic, erratic jolts. The crew had stolen the thing years ago. No smoking. Jay enjoyed the company, but it was the only kind he got. What one? No smoking. He smiled, putting his feet on the waist-high machine. So who are they going to kill first, Rusty? You or me? No smoking. Yeah, he watched as the puffy clouds fell out of his lips, swirling like lovely tendrils. He loved the way the smoke seemed to wrap around the invisible structures in the air, as if there were something that they could see, a whole world in a simple air above him, fighting with the smoke that came from his lips. I think it'll be me too. A jolt sounded from outside the door. Before Jax could think, put out the cigarette and the entrance flew open. A rush of cold metallic air hit the nostrils like being coated in acid, and his eyes battered at the sudden influx of light. That damn bot doesn't douche. It was one of the pirates, a tall bluish alien with muscles large enough to strangle an elephant, and an anger to want to. Why the freaking human in here? No matter how young or beaten Jax might have been, he was smart. He put his head to the floor and squeezed himself to the smallest figure possible, looking hopeless and minuscule under the shadow of the massive alien. He never talked in front of them, never looked or even glanced their way. As far as he knew, most of them didn't even know he existed. Is this some of our cargo? He reached down and grabbed the butt that Jax had tried to toss behind himself. It actually wasn't theirs. Jax had stole it himself when they had stopped by at a black market port. He remembered them from Earth. You've been stealing our cargo? Replying would only make things worse. Smaller, he had to get smaller. You're undermining this crew. Invisible, if only he could become so small that no one would see him, so that no one would think about him. You little dog. You could hear the excitement in this thing's voice that rushed into meaning something. Get the freak out of here. He grabbed Jax by his collar and yanked him out of the closet. Jax didn't kick or fight. He just simply fell with the tug, flopped out in the open air, and listened to the sweet remnants as the bot yelled out that one final no smoking. He hung in that strange bitter taste of the smoke as he dragged across the larger ship. The little pleasures are the important ones. They kept a man from starving, from going insane. As he bounced and scraped along the metal ground, he only thought of that lovely cigarette, that lovely closet, and his peaceful time there. Bam! He was thrown onto the ground, surrounded by a party of rowdy, high, aggressive alien pirates, all gambling and fusing themselves with whatever would make them loopy. The rat stole our cargo. That thing is still alive. They all laughed and traded jabs. Why do we even clothe it? Does it know what clothes are? I hear this planet's already dead. They didn't even know how to feed themselves. I bet the robot feeds him. I bet he suckles on that little dust tube and eats the dirt. Another round of racist laughter. The blue alien made Jax stand beside him, putting one large hand on top of his head. I'm about tired of this little leech. Cheers erupted. I don't think the captain will ever even miss him. Kill it, Slag. Kill it. Everyone laughed, harder and louder. Dagwoods pressed their grins. Should I kill him? Right here, right now? They were all reaching a frenzy, a fever pitch, anger and bloodlust. They seemed for murder and blood, for the death and desecration of one small human. It infused them with awful lust for death. Stag picked up from the head and brought his face, growling to show his awful. Is this what you want, little speck? Spoke as if he was caring. Do you want to finally die? Dax was afraid. He was horrified, yet to his own surprise, he didn't want to run. It was a strange way. He was incredibly at peace. He's almost asleep. His heart beat, but his mind was steady, like that careful, clear part of a stream night before a waterfall. For some reason, his mind went to his first memory, that figure that spoke to him so lovingly so long ago. He hung onto the thought so immensely that he could almost see it, almost reach out and touch it. Rat? Rat? Stag shook him, pulled him only inches away from his own face. Open your eyes. I want you to see this. He wasn't thinking. He wasn't planning. He was just opening his eyes and feeling. All of the aliens went silent with that surprise of, what? His voice was small and quiet. I am the universe. Stag blinked. You can talk, but only if I make it so. He flipped out the knife that never left his pocket and stabbed it into Stag's neck. It was an instant, a flash. Yet, it all felt so perfect and necessary. Like the calm river finally hitting the waterfall, turning into a rush and simply following the law of gravity. Jack's hand wrapped tightly around the knife as it was unshakable as a stone. Jack dropped him, and for a small moment, Jack was floating, suspended with his hands holding on that knife that killed the alien. Watching as the yellow blood leaked into his hands and spilled to the floor. He wasn't happy to kill anything, but deep down, somewhere in that small chest, something grew. And when he landed on the ground, he landed with a smile. As he stood up, slowly covering in all blood, all of the aliens looked on him with stunned silence. He said the words with confidence and surety, with bravado and pride. I am the universe. If you like this, please give a shout out to Mr. Sharks 202 over on Reddit. The link will be in the description so that you can find it quickly. Again, this has been The Human on an Alien Pirate Ship by Mr. Sharks 202 from a Reddit story approved by Mr. Sharks. Thank you very much. Please like and subscribe and make sure you show some love to Mr. Sharks over on Reddit.